the same link that I clicked on. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We're all here now.
We're all here.
So, welcome everybody. I'm starting the meeting late today because we had a Zoom link at 6:11 p.m. This is the CSC task force meeting. So anyway, there hasn't been a lot of action. I did polish the memorandum I'm going to submit. I plan to submit to NYSERDA for our comprehensive plan with sustainability elements. So I'll show that to you quickly, just to let you know how it looks. I guess I should share my screen first. Hang on. Okay. So my screen's frozen. Oh, there it goes. So can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So basically it's just a simple memorandum, the subject, a basic introduction about when the comprehensive plan was adopted by the village trustees. They wanted NYSERDA wants a link to the plan, which is provided, then link to the meeting minutes where the plan was approved. So that's there too. And then I go into the different elements, sustainability elements that are included in the comprehensive plan. It's a list provided by NYSERDA for this action item. And I present their category sustainability element, then where it would be located and under which subsection for each of the pages. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So apparently you can get from 1 to 13 points. And I think we've covered 11 points. There are a couple. Do I have, oh, no, there are more. Okay. Let's see here. There are 2 that are not covered. Development, local food systems are just not covered in the current comprehensive plan, and also recycling and composting or anaerobic digestion of organic materials. Those 2 were not covered. Everything else, we've got something covered within the comprehensive plan, which is pretty good considering this was written back in 2013, 14, and then approved in 15. So we were forward thinking.
Ronnie, could I ask a quick question?
Yes.
About the 2 items that weren't covered, the one about solid waste handling and composting. It seems like all municipalities should get a point for that because it's being done in the county. I mean, do they expect individual municipalities to set up their own programs? I think that's both redundant and not feasible.
Well, this is just dealing with what is actually covered within our comprehensive plan. And
okay.
These topics just weren't covered.
They weren't there. Okay.
It doesn't mean that we can't add them the next go around.
Yeah.
Then we could resubmit at some point in the future. But
okay.
For right now, we do almost all of these without even thinking about NYSERDA or CSC or CEC for our comprehensive.
Okay, thanks.
So the next step for this would be for me to present this memorandum to Board of Trustees and have them approve it or make recommended changes before I send it. I don't know what they would recommend to change. I'm just basically pointing out what we already say. But I don't know when this will happen because our next meeting is the first meeting in May. It's a pretty packed agenda because it's our organizational meeting
right.
after electing 2 new trustees, and that's a fairly long meeting, so it may happen later. Another problem is that Deborah and I will be away for 16 days in May, so I'm going to miss a couple of the trustees meetings in that month. So it might be early June before I can get this memorandum before them.
Fine.
So anyway, I'll play it by ear. If I think I can squeeze it into the first meeting in May, I will. I want to wait and see what the agenda really includes. And it shouldn't take a long discussion. but I'm just can't promise.
So the comprehensive plan with sustainability elements is, part of the actions for climate smart communities. So, obviously you can upload it whenever it's ready, but did you think you wanted to, reapply for in the next, round? Because that would be, I think in early, like July 7th would be the next, date that they will, start looking over all the new applications. So
I don't know which would be best. It's probably just go ahead and get it submitted, and then it can be. I don't know if we will be to the point where they were close enough to the bronze award for them to even review us, but I at least want to go ahead and present this as a checked off action item.
sure, yeah, that sounds good.
So that's my goal. It may happen. It will either happen in May or June.
If you're not around, Ronnie, and you want me to present it to the trustees, I would be happy to do so, because as you said, it's not, I don't think it's a difficult vote on this, because it's just what we already have. It's just pointing out what we already have in the comprehensive plan. We're not doing anything new. And I think we would get the votes without your vote. That's up to you. But if you want to get it out sooner rather than later, and you're not going to be around in May, I'd be happy to present it and tell them what we're doing.
Okay. All right. I'll consider that, Simon. Thank you for offering. You won't be a trustee, but you can still be on the task force temporarily until you decide not be.
I mean, I know what this is about, so.
Okay. Yeah, I can, if you'd like, that's a good suggestion. Let's try for that. I'll send it to you so you'll have it, and you could kind of go through and see what, in case there are questions about the categories, but you can go into the comprehensive plan that's online, and it tells you which page, and then you look under the efficient transportation, for instance, subsection, and it will have elements dealing with different types of transportation. Yep. So it shouldn't be, if they ask questions, I don't know what they will ask, but it would be easy to find what I'm referencing.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Simon. I'll send that to you later tonight or tomorrow. Any other questions before I stop sharing?
No.
Okay. The only other two things we have are the work on our community energy programs, which Gina, would you, let's tell them kind of what we're trying to do at the moment. We're trying to get people to meet, and people are it's hard to get people to commit to meetings right at the moment.
Right. So, by the way, I don't know if you told everybody we have the designation grant. I mean, we haven't gotten the email for it, so we can't actually put in the application, but you qualified. Congratulations for all your hard work. We were working on the benchmarking. Ronnie finished the advanced benchmarking, but the basic benchmarking has proved to be more of a headache than we want to deal with right now. But we got started on the clean heating and cooling campaign and a solar campaign. Right. And so we are waiting for Lisa Marshall to get back to us so that we can meet. We're scheduled to meet next Friday, right. A week from Friday, right. And finish off the scoping documents. And once we submit the scoping documents, then the campaign can begin in earnest. We do have to choose a solar provider to invite. So I wanted to let you make that choice and not make that choice for you.
Okay. Simon, we're doing this because CEC requires that we go through a whole nother process that you went through as far as another campaign for them. So we're just kind of following your model with Gina's help and proceed from there. So yeah. It's nothing against what you've done in the past. Obviously, you were as successful, I think, as you could have been, and I appreciate it. But this requires that we do it one more cycle for CEC.
And they changed the scoping document requirements a little bit, so we had to put it on the new version.
No, new template, a new version.
Yep. Yes, but yeah, as soon as we get that document submitted, then we'll wait for the approval, we can begin the campaign. And the clean heating and cooling these days only requires 5 signups, which is great.
Okay.
And the solar is 10.
Solar is
But
still
yeah,
10.
that's another exciting thing. And more points. So right now you have 1,300 points, and those 2 campaigns would put you at 2,000,
Okay.
which is great. 3,000
So-
is the points-based $10,000 grant.
So for the 2 campaigns to be considered done, they would have to have 5 signups for cooling, 10 for solar, correct?
Right.
Okay, all right.
And each of them also carries their own $5,000 grant.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's great.
Yep.
So we'll be working on that this year.
I had one more question for you, and just to think ahead a little bit.
Sure.
Do you have an upgrade, like a heat pump, in any of the municipal facilities?
No,
When you do that, we can do the clean energy upgrades,
okay.
HIA.
We might do that at some point within the old administration building. I don't think the new one is due for anything. It probably won't be due for anything in the near future, but the old administration building might. That's the best scenario. I don't know if we could ever do one out in the DPW garage because it's such an open area.
Yeah.
Doors are open all the time. It's just kind of a waste, but you never know. But those 2 buildings would be the candidates, with the DPW being the less and least attractive candidate for that. Anyway, so that's pretty, okay. Lynn, you have a question?
Yeah, is the heating cooling, and Lisa Marshall, is that through Heat Smart Tompkins? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got my heat pump 5 years ago through that program. I love it.
I
And
like
you would be a
Lynn's
good person to give a testimonial about it.
Oh, I would be happy to, because it covers me during the sort of shoulder seasons of going from winter into spring and from summer into fall. Before I'm ready to start up either the wood stove or the propane stove, I use the heat pump a lot, and then I use it for cooling in the summer. It's
That's
wonderful.
great. So maybe, Ronnie, you could incorporate a testimony from Lynn in the marketing.
Okay,
And the other thing I did, because I knew that I'd be running an electric pump, so therefore using more electricity, is that I bought into a Renovus solar farm over on the other side of the lake to cover that extra electricity need. And it was all really worth it.
that's great. Yeah, that's good. That should be part of your testimonial too. because
Yeah, I
that
mean, if you
demonstrates-
can install on your own house, and it's not necessarily the most efficient way to do solar, is to buy into an aggregate system. You just buy a share of the system. You own X number of panels, so to speak. I went over and had a picture of myself taken in front of my panel.
Did you
Not
sign
really.
it? Lynn's,
Yeah, I didn't sign it. I should then have to go over and clear the snow off it.
yeah,
every
yeah,
time.
yeah, then you would own it and you would have to take care
Then
of it.
I'd own it. But that was the way to solve the problem for me living in the woods and unable to put in solar collectors here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy to give a testimonial.
Okay, thank you.
So,
that's kind of- go
I
ahead.
was just gonna add,
Gotcha.
all of these actions that you're doing with CEC can get points under CSC, so you just have to provide the emails that they say that it's been approved. But it might be a benefit after you come back and the end of May or something that we could sit down together, look over all of the points that you are like close to getting, and just see how close bronze really is, because you've done quite a bit, so I don't think it's as far out as we think.
Oh, okay, all right, well, yeah, that would be good. Appreciate it. And that's a segue into your presentation on natural resources inventory.
Sure, yeah, and just just let me know when you're back in town and we can schedule something, because
Okay.
I don't want to be another burden at a busy time for you. But if I could just share my screen, that would be great.
Yeah, let me turn that on. Just a moment. Okay,
Share. Okay, so this is just the beginning stages. I haven't added, like, it looks very filled out, but it's not quite there yet. But basically what I did is I made an outline of the different sections, and started filling out like some of the introduction stuff. And it's all like, clickable if you want to go to that section, or wherever in the document. But these are all the sections over here. And what I might do is just send an email with the outline of the sections after this, so you can see, and you can let me know if you think anything else needs to be there, or anything like that. But basically what I'm doing now is just going through and filling out these sections where applicable, and then I need to add sorry, but allergies are really getting to me right these days.
That's all right.
But anyway, fill out put in the maps and such. And obviously, like, I will fill out as much of this as possible, but if you have anyone in-house that like really, knows the streams or anything, like, we can have others contributing on this. So, definitely think internally, or, in people in Village of Lansing, if there is anyone that you want to contribute to this.
Okay.
Because I'll put the information that I can find and everything, but I won't have the same. I've lived here for 20 years, so I know these like intimate details of something or other. So, so like I said, a lot of the intro has started getting filled out, and then I'll probably by next time start adding in some of these maps and try to get those added in. They do take a bit of time setting each one up, so I'm not totally sure how far I'll be able to get by our next meeting, but yeah, I think it's coming along pretty well. And yeah, does anyone have any questions about the process? Anything that they're not comfortable with?
No, I don't have anything.
I have a question, and Rachel, could you scroll down your outline just a little bit? So habitats and wildlife and open space, parks and conserved land. Under parks and conserved land, do you have anything under that yet?
No, I don't think I have anything other than that we should include that section for there.
Yeah, I mean, we mostly have parks. We don't really own any sort of, as a village, we don't own any forested areas, but except for Poison Ivy Point, which, AKA Volton Point, the intake down on the lake. And if you look at our greenway, our updated greenway plan, there's an appendix in there, an addendum that I added a few years ago on my survey of Poison Ivy Point and my recommendations for what should happen to it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great if you could send that over to me, and I can make sure.
It's in the greenway plan, and I don't know if you already have access to that. It's probably online.
Okay, yeah, I can.
But I just wanted to draw your attention to it because it's an undeveloped piece of land in the village that has been sort of earmarked as a possible future park, but until we have permission to cross the railroad, that's just not going to happen. Furthermore, I mean, they're just, and I explained it all in that addendum, that's just one area in the village that's out of sight, out of mind for almost all villagers, unless they walk their dogs down there.
And that's a perfect example of some of the things that like I wouldn't necessarily know, but it's good for the village to have a section on that, whereas like other communities might not have a section on that. So,
and I figured you probably wouldn't have known about it because it's off the radar.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it's very important, especially if it's town-owned land. That's part of the resources that you guys have right now. So it is good to make a note of that and the status it's in now, especially if a project does happen. It would be really cool to see, the change in time from one inventory to another.
The project that should happen is that it be left alone, because it's one of the few natural areas on the lake that's very important for migration. So my sense is leave it alone. Anyway, that's we're jumping to conclusions. So anyway, I just wanted you to know that was there.
No, Rachel, I mean, that's good to know that, it shouldn't, in your opinion, it doesn't need management. I mean, there are some, forested sections where, they want it to remain natural, but perhaps there's like invasives or something, or too thick or something. So you want active management, but to keep it natural. And so that's definitely something that we can talk about, and what, your recommendations would be for for that area. I mean, and then this is all extra, like I said. If the village doesn't feel comfortable putting recommendations in an NRI, that's okay. Like, it's up to you guys.
The Greenway plan is available on our village website. At the very bottom, there's a box of buttons, and the Greenway plan should be within those boxes. So if you can't find it, let me know and I'll send you a direct link.
Perfect. That'll be
So-
very helpful.
And Poison Ivy Point, Lynn's write up about that is one of the, I think it's Appendix C within that plan. So.
But all
it's got
our trails and all our parks are in there in
Yeah.
the Greenway.
Perfect. That'll be really helpful.
Yeah.
So it's a good resource.
And
That's all.
we're working on an updated version that's got new information related to that too. So we'll probably be submitting that to the trustees within the next month or so to get their approval. So I might send that draft to you because it's got some updated information. A lot of it is the same, but some of it has been updated. And it would still have the Poison Ivy Point, which was untouched. That appendix was untouched in this version too.
Great. Yeah, that'd be super helpful if you could send that over.
I
Do you
will.
want to work with the most up-to-date data, of course.
Yeah, let's do that. So, okay. Are there any questions for Rachel?
Great. I'll stop sharing and
Anything, is there any other business that anyone would like to discuss? If not, I think we can adjourn for tonight. I knew it would be a short meeting, but I still wanted to touch base because we will not be able to meet at the regularly scheduled date and time in May because I will be gone. So our next meeting will be in June. So that'll give everyone some extra time to do whatever. Simon, I know what you will be doing.
great. And that
So-
also gives us a little time in June to meet, like just us one-on-one before the meeting.
Right.
Ronnie, I did have one thing I wanted to add, and that was I started cleaning out a lot of files about a month ago, and I realized that I put together a whole stack of natural resource related stuff that is all part of the village. Oh my God, there was a tree guide, urban trees, and somewhere back a few years back, some number of years back, someone did a tree survey for us on village lands and actually enumerated all the species of trees that we had and also listed all the ones that needed to be taken out. Well, obviously it's old,
Right.
but a lot of those trees may still be there. And it had a map with some things, species put in, but I don't, I just handed the whole stack to Mike Scott and asked him to give them to Jody. I said that this is all probably Greenway stuff.
Okay.
And I couldn't find it today. I was looking for it and then I realized, oh yeah, I passed it on to the village. I really didn't
Okay.
think I would really be using these files anymore. It was they go way back. So
Yeah, it's probably stored over in the administrative building somewhere.
it might be,
So I'll try to find it and we can go through it, or I can go through it.
yeah, there
and-
was
and see if there's anything that might be pertinent for.
there were a
the-
couple of big folders on deer management, and I don't
Okay.
see that I need to have all that stuff anymore. Huge folder on deer management stuff. There was the tree inventory, and I think there was also some sort of a guide for urban forestry, which might be useful.
Sure. Okay. I'll ask Jody and Mike about that. to
Okay.
See,
She may have stashed it somewhere, and she'll know exactly where she put it.
she'll know where she put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that I just wanted.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Okay, then I guess we will adjourn for the evening. Thanks, everyone. I'm sorry we got started late, but it's still a short meeting.
Good. Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.